The sky may be clear today, but tomorrow is not ours to command. Queen Eliza's eyes twinkled as she gazed down at her daughter. Her tone light, but her words laced with affection. Eya, my dear, you have been full of such strange wisdom lately, she mused, brushing a straight hair from her daughter's forehead. Yet, behind her calm expression, the queen's heart fluttered with unease. It was a warm summer evening, the kind that invited laughter and songs into the air. The royal palace buzzed with excitement as servants hurried to set the grand feast outside, beneath a sky that promised nothing but serenity. Yet there was Princess Eya, just 6 years old at the time, standing by her mother's side, pulling insistently at the hem of her gown. Mother, Eya's voice, though gentle, had a gravity far beyond her years. The feast, it needs to be inside. Heavy rain will come. Queen Eliza chuckled, glancing at the cloudless sky. A heavy rain? Look around you, Eya. There isn't a raindrop in sight. Besides, the rainmakers have assured me that the weather will be perfect. You do not need to worry. But Eya insisted. Mother, please trust me. Let's move this feast inside. Something in her daughter's tone struck the queen differently this time. A sense of urgency, a weight that should not have belonged to a child. Amused yet curious, Queen Eliza gave in to the request, though she hardly believed it possible. All right, Eya, she said with a smile. Let's move the feast indoors. But I expect an extra dance from you later as payment. No sooner had the last tablecloth been set within the palace wall than the wind shifted. First gently, then fiercely, until dark clouds overtook the horizon like an advancing army. The first crack of thunder seemed to split the sky itself, sending a torrent of rain upon the land. The feast-goers gasped, awed by the queen's sudden foresight. But only Queen Eliza knew the truth. It was her daughter, her little Eya, who had seen what no one else could. From that day forward, Eya's quiet warning became the whispers that guided the Kingdom of Liba. Her predictions, each growing more frequent and more precise, were no longer the babblings of a child, but the words of a seer. At just 6 years old, Eya had saved lives, prevented disasters, and earned the respect of an entire court. But not all were willing to believe in such a gift. She is a child, not a prophet, Lord Enoch sneered one evening after Eya's warning about a sudden storm. We cannot alter the kingdom's plans based on the fancies of a little girl. Eya stood by her mother, her face pale but resolute. She had already predicted the storm, just as she had many times before. She knew what was coming, and yet the doubt in Lord Enoch's voice stung. He was not alone. Several nobles nodded in agreement. Before Eya could speak, Queen Eliza rose, her voice like steel. Lord Enoch, this little girl has saved your life more than once. Will you risk it again? He met the king's gaze, defiance fading. Yes, your majesty, he faltered, realizing too late the weight of his arrogance. True to Eya's word, the storm struck with a vengeance that night. Enoch and his men barely survived, crawling back to the palace, drenched and battered. They found Eya waiting quietly by the door, her eyes filled with neither triumph nor reproach, only the calm acceptance of what had already been seen. Lord Enoch fell to his knees before her, his voice trembling. Princess, I beg your forgiveness. Your gift is beyond me. It's not my forgiveness you need, she whispered and walked away. Years before anyone recognized Eya's gift, the Kingdom of Liba experienced its darkest hour. King Eden, Queen Elizabeth's beloved husband, was preparing for a journey to settle a border dispute with a neighboring kingdom. Eya was just 4 years old at the time. As he mounted his horse, Eya clung to his leg, her small hand trembling. Papa, don't go today, she whispered, her voice shaking. The road will fall. The king laughed, his deep voice rolling with amazement. Sweet Eya, the road is solid. I have traveled it before many times. You do not need to worry over things like this. But Eya wouldn't let go. Her eyes widened with fear. Please, Papa, wait. Just one day, please wait. King Eden bent down, ruffling her hair affectionately. You have your mother's stubbornness, I see. He kissed her forehead and pried her small fingers from his leg, not taking her warning to the heart. The queen stood by, smiling softly, believing it to be childish cleanness. The king rode off, waving, unaware that he was leaving behind not just his daughter, but his fate. Later that day, a messenger returned, out of breath and pale with shock. The road had indeed collapsed beneath the king's caravan, a landslide swallowing them all. King Eden was gone. Eya never spoke of that day again, but it haunted her. Her warning had come too late, or perhaps it hadn't been loud enough. She knew that had her father listened, he would still be alive. It was the day Queen Eliza first began to realize that there was something extraordinary about her eldest daughter. As the years passed, Eya's gift became both a blessing and a curse. Each glimpse of tomorrow pulled her away from the innocence she so desperately longed for. Her younger sister Abia had none of Eya's foresight. Abia laughed freely, played without fear, and lived in the moment, something Eya hadn't done in years. But one afternoon, while the sisters played by the riverbank, something stirred with Eya, a flash, a warning. Her hand shot out, gripping Abia's arm. "Abia," she said, her voice urgent, "we need to move. We need to move out of here now." Without question, Abia followed her sister, just as she always had. Moments later, the river swelled with a sudden rush of water, flooding the bank where they had stood. Abia's eyes widened with shock, clinging to her sister's arm. "You saved me," she shouted, her voice trembling. Eya smiled softly, but said nothing, her heart heavy. What her sister could never know was the weight of that burden, how it felt to always see danger lurking just out of sight. Not everyone in the kingdom was willing to accept the child's visions. Doctors remained, and whispers of Eya's unnatural powers spread through the court like shadows in the dark. But Queen Eliza would not let her daughter face this burden alone. One evening, as the kingdom slept, Queen Eliza called for the kingdom's wisest sage, Michael, a man who had studied the mysteries of foresight for decades. He would teach Eya to harness her power, to wield it not as a burden, but as a tool for the good of Liba kingdom. Eya, Michael's voice was deep and calm as he sat with her by the fire one evening. "Your gift is not something to fear about. It is a blessing, yes, but also a heavy one. You must learn not only to see the future, but to live in the present." "I try," Eya whispered, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "But it's hard, knowing what tomorrow holds." Miko nodded, his gaze softening. "It is hard, child, but that is why you must find balance. Tomorrow's knowledge is important, but today is all we truly have. And that is where your strength will come from." As Eya approached her 12th year, her gift, once the source of doubt and fear, became a guiding light for the kingdom. Under her foresight, Liba kingdom thrived, protected from dangers both seen and unseen. And though the weight of tomorrow's knowledge remained, Eya stood taller each day, her heart grounded in the love of her family and the wisdom she carried for her people. In the kingdom of Liba, the name Princess Eya stood tall. When Princess Abia turned 16, suitors from noble families across the kingdom lined up to win her favor. Abia, beautiful and vibrant, was the image of youthful innocence, with none of the heavy burden her sister carried. She enjoyed the attention, basking in the compliments and gifts that flooded the palace. But among them was one who stood out, Lord Darian, a charming man with eyes that seemed to twinkle only when Abia was near. Eya, now a woman of quiet wisdom, sensed something dark beneath Darian's polished words and easy smile. She had no vision to confirm it, only a deep, unsettling feeling. "Abia," she said one evening as they sat together in the garden, "Darian, there is something wrong with him. His intentions are not what they seem." Abia laughed, rushing off her sister's concern. "Oh, Eya, you have always been overprotective. You must stop worrying so much. Just because you are not interested in suitors doesn't mean I shouldn't be." Her tone was light, but Eya could hear the sting in her words. "It's not jealousy, Abia," Eya insisted. "I will never tell you not to love. But this man, he is not who he says he is." Abia shook her head, standing up. "Maybe you don't just want me to be happy, Eya. You have always had everything, the wisdom, the respect, the attention of the whole kingdom. Let me have this one now." Eya watched as her sister walked away. She knew this was not about rivalry or attention. It was about the danger that Darian posed, a danger Abia refused to see. Days turned into weeks, and Abia grew more enchanted with Lord Darian. The court buzzed with rumors of an engagement. Eya's warning went unheeded, and her relationship with Abia strained under the weight of distrust. Then one afternoon, news broke. A messenger from a nearby kingdom arrived with startling information. Lord Darian was already engaged to a wealthy heiress from the south. The betrothal was secret, but the engagement had been signed long before Darian set foot in Liba. Abia was devastated. The love she thought was hers had been a lie. The wealth and the status of their family had been his true prize. Crying, she sought out for her sister Eya. "I was wrong," Abia wept, collapsing into her arms. "You were right. He never loved me. Eya held her close, her own heart breaking for her sister's pain. It's alright, Abia. Sometimes saying the truth is the hardest thing of all. Despite the heartache, the bond between Eya and Abia grew stronger. Eya's gift continued to guide the Kingdom of Liba, and her wisdom became the foundation of its prosperity. Through the trials of love and betrayal, the royal family remained united, each learning that the truth, whether seen or unseen, was a force that could shape the future for the better. In time, Eya's ability to foresee not only saved lives but transformed the way the kingdom understood belief, trust, and the bond of families. Princess Eya, the girl who can predict tomorrow, became a symbol of consultation in the kingdom. People far and near were coming to predict their tomorrow through her. Eya's gift grew more pronounced. She foresaw storms, landslides, and even the threat of famine. And yet, for all her wisdom and vision, one thing eluded her: the acceptance of those who could not understand the burden of knowing tomorrow.